So, Patriot Front. I mean, the name. I just say the name and I just start laughing, right? Not at the alleged political principles that this group embodies, right? Patriot Front is supposed to be like a group of guys in the United States who are all in favor of a return to traditional values, Trump, MAGA, all this kind of stuff, right? And the thing is, see, it glows, man. It glows neon green, CIA neon green. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's so obviously a group set up by American law enforcement, either FBI or somebody else, right? It's so obvious. And its purpose is, well, I'll get to the purpose in just a minute, but the thing is, the reason I'm bringing it up is that, see, a bunch of them were arrested in Idaho. They were getting ready to do a counter demonstration to a pride parade. A pride parade is, as you may know, it's where a bunch of sexual minorities parade around in burlesque outfits, basically, or worse than burlesque outfits. I mean, real stuff that I'd feel very, very embarrassed to see either my child or my grandmother watching. I mean, it's just Anyway, the point, it's part of the decadence, the slow decay, the slow collapse of the empire, right? And so these Patriot Front guys were all there, and they arrested a whole bunch of them. And there's like this video and pictures of them all on their knees with zip ties, their hands tied behind their back with zip ties. But here's the thing. See, all of them, and I mean every single one of them, they were wearing like this uniform that they have, a t-shirt and khaki pants, fine. Some of them had a long sleeve t-shirt underneath, and some just had the one t-shirt, but all the t-shirts were blue. And the pants were all khakis, and they're kneeling there, but they've been arrested, or at least detained, and every single one of them has a baseball cap on. Every single one of them has like a thing covering their face, and a whole bunch of them have sunglasses, making it impossible to identify them from pictures. They're feds, man. I mean, come on. They're feds. See, because when you get arrested, by the police in any country in the world, okay, not just the United States, whatever covering you have over your face, mask or whatever, they remove it so that they can see who you are, okay? They're not going to tie up your hands behind your back with zip ties and have you there kneeling, waiting before they come and pick you up in the paddy wagon and take you to be processed. They're not going to do that and let you have your face covered. No way. The only reason that they would remain with their faces covered is because they don't want anybody to be able to identify them from pictures. These guys are all feds, or they're federal informants. And I would guess that a few of them are people who genuinely believe this stuff and glommed on to Patriot Front. And now they're mixed up and they're in all kinds of trouble because the federal law enforcement officers in this group, they're obviously not going to get charged with anything. And the federal informants, they're not going to get charged with anything. On the contrary, they're going to keep on getting their $2,000 or $3,000 a month for being informants, steady as she goes kind of thing, right? It's the poor suckers who genuinely believe that this Patriot Front group was doing good. They're the ones who are going to wind up going to jail and or paying all kinds of fines. I mean, it's really despicable. Law enforcement set up this group. It's obvious from the get-go. They were too organized. I mean, that's the thing. That's the thing that you realize, no, it's not real. Because they're too organized. They're way too organized. The clothing, the whole thing, it just reeks of Fed. Just screams Fed. Mm-hmm. And see, of course, this group that has been detained, right, they're going to be processed, and a few of these innocent people who glommed onto this movement, who thought that it was genuine, who thought it was legitimate, they're going to get charged with all kinds of crimes. And it's all going to fall on them, on these poor bastards. And so what's going to happen is that the media later on is going to parade around these patsies, because that's what they are, patsies. They're going to parade them around and say that, look, the neo-Nazis, the fascists, whatever, and blame them for all kinds of stuff. And I would not be surprised that the ones who are like innocent people who thought that joining this group would be a good thing and blah, blah, these people were probably goaded at some point in the past, goaded into some minor crimes by these informants and these law enforcement officers that are undercover. And they probably did something that they shouldn't have, something illegal but relatively harmless. But because of that action, or because maybe even just their words, they're going to get charged with all kinds of crimes. And they're going to be the patsies that the news media is going to parade around and say, oh, this individual, it's always three names, if you notice, John Booth Smith, is like this evil white supremacist. We have to watch out for the white supremacist. And so they are going to create this fictional fear of the white supremacist. The fictional fear of the racist, MAGA hat wearing white supremacist who's out to get you. Because this is just another example of the incredibly divisive nature of the Obama-Biden administration. And I am aware that Joe Biden is supposed to be president, but he's not the real president. It's Barack Obama who's pulling the strings on this puppet. This third Obama-Biden administration, they are deliberately creating enormous, monumental divisions in the United States, and they are actively demonizing half the population of the United States. And this is just another little, a little freak show on the way to the Civil War. A little freak show by the side of the road, as we drive on to the complete Civil War that's going to take place in the United States. This Patriot Front group, some bastard in law enforcement came up with this idea to co-opt the legitimate grievances of half the population to create this fake group so that they could do a fake demonstration to create the political justification for more repression. That's what this is all about. And as these guys get paraded around, there's going to be more and more talk about repression, more and more talk about repression insofar as tech is concerned, censorship, all kinds of repressive measures against people who have legitimate grievances. Just over the last few days, a whole bunch of people that I know on Twitter, they've announced how they've been cut off from PayPal, Venmo. They're being cut off from the essential services of the online world. I mean, several, all at the same time, as we have this ridiculous story of the white supremacist in Idaho. So you see how they're playing it. The Obama-Biden administration in its third term is deliberately trying to demonize half the country, and make no mistake about it, they will soon start to actively and openly persecute you. Understand what's going on.